license and shit like that. Give them your permit and my license. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my static brake check. Would you like me to chalk the wheels? No, we're in a safe place. I don't think there's any hill. It's not going to roll. So I go ahead, I open my window, open my door. Okay. Push in the parking brake. Let all the air go out. There's an initial drop. I'm going to go ahead and put my foot on the brake. I'm going to wait 1 minute. Make sure there's not another significant drop in this 1 minute that I hold my foot, indicating that there's a leak. I don't hear any leaks. I should hear leaks because I have the windows and doors open. I don't hear any. It's not dropping. So okay, it's been a minute. So I'm going to start my pump down now. I start pumping it down at 90, the wig should drop. Around 60, the alarm should come on. The alarm came on. At 30, the spring brake should pop out. So the spring brake popped out, so that's my first brake check. So I'm going to let this build up air. While it's building up air, I'm going to go through all my switches. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to turn my destination sign on. I can see my front destination sign and my crossover mirrors. Checking all the dome lights. All of the dome lights are lit. So that's working. Turning on my boost pump, which circulates the antifreeze to the back heaters. I can hear it running. The light's on. I have heated mirrors. I turn that on. I can't tell if it's working only because it's warm outside, but the light is on, so that indicates that it is working. My rear heater, I'm going to try that now. Low and high, working. Another rear heater, low and high, that's working. My midship heater, low, high, that's working. My stairwell heater, low, high, that's functioning. My driver's defrost and heater, low and high, and that is working. I can feel it blowing out through there. So now I'm going to go to my defrost fan. My left one, low, high, that's working. My other defrost fan, low, high, that's working. So I'm turning on my headlights. I can see my headlights in my crossover mirrors. So I'm going to check the high beams. The high beams are working. I have my hazard lights on. They're flashing on the dash. My transmission is up to operating temperature. My water is up to operating temperature. My oil pressure is up to 60, and that's operating temperature. My RPMs are about 1500. I'm going to shut my cruise off, and it should be at 700, and that's at operating up to snuff. My miles per hour, I'm not moving, so of course that's not moving. My volts are at least 12 volts. It's on 14, so it's charging. My pressures now are up to 120 pounds PSI. My fuel, I have enough fuel for my trip that I'm going to go on. I'm going to put my wig back up. I'm checking my steering wheel to make sure that there's no play in the steering wheel. It's not loose. My wipers work on low and high. And delay. And my washer works. So that's that on that. Okay. My shifter is solid. My seat is not broken. It's not loose. My seat belt is not torn or ripped. And my seat belt operates. So I'm going to continue on this way. I have a body fluid kit that's all loaded up and sealed. I have my inspection or my registration and insurance card here, and it's a lifetime registration of this vehicle. I have my first aid kit that's fully stocked. Okay, then I'm going to go down here. My fire extinguisher is charged, but it was serviced and it's fully charged. Behind the seat, I have my triangles, so in case there's a problem with the bus or if I have an accident, I can set them out behind the bus. And there's a hole drilled in, so I know my triangles are in there. So now I'm going to go back and do the back of the bus, and I'm going to go ahead. While I do that, I'm going to turn on my master switch, and I'm going to turn my jersey lights on. My yellow jersey lights, I see them flashing in the crossover mirrors. So now I'm checking the bottoms, the belts, and the backs to make sure they're secure. The seat belts aren't ripped. They buckle. I can unbuckle all of them if you want. Usually the MVLE says, no, that's okay, you don't have to unbuckle them all. But if you like, I could unbuckle them all and check them all for tears, but they seem pretty good. To here, my windows that I can see are free of cracks and debris. There's no cracked or broken windows. My emergency exit is clearly marked and fully functional, and the alarm goes off. My emergency hatch, push that up, the alarm goes off, detaches as it should. That's fully functional and operates. These bottoms, these backs, and these belts are good. All these bottoms, backs, and belts, this emergency window is clearly marked. The alarm goes off. It's fully functional. The jump seat's folded up. The belts here are good. They're all buckled. No rips in the belts. The seat operates. I have this red light indicating the emergency door. That's on. That means my headlights are on. When that's on, that's lit. The emergency exit is clearly marked. Holds in place. Fully functional with the alarm going off. These bottoms, backs, and belts are all secure and in place. These bottoms, backs, and belts, backs are secure. This emergency exit is clearly marked. Window opens. Alarm goes off, fully functional. These backs are good. Again, this emergency window clearly marked. Window opens, alarm goes off. That's working as it should. This emergency hatch here is clearly marked. That's fully functional. And the alarm goes off. The bottoms, backs, and belts here are good. These backs, bottoms, and belts are all good. Same with these. That completes the seat, bottoms, backs, and belts. The floor, I walk down the floor. There's no trip hazards. The floor is in good shape. There's nothing bubbled up or anything that I trip over, slip on, or fall. This emergency light is on. I can open this up. My destination light is on. That's all working. This is clearly marked with the light again. This emergency door opens, holds in place. My yellow jersey lights are flashing. So that's that inside the bus. So I'm going back to the front of the bus.
Bus 32 Irene.
I'm going to turn the wheel to the left or to the right. Turn it all the way to the right. I'm going to leave my master switch on. I'm going to open up my door. My stair light is illuminated. My handrails are secure. My treads, there's no trip hazards. There's nothing peeling up, nothing anybody would trip on. They're all secure and in place. So now I'm going to start over here at the top of the bus. My clip light or my clearance light is lit. My mirror's secure. The mirrors have no debris, no cracks or anything wrong with the mirrors, and they seem to be in good shape. My hood's latched, my steps up. Starting at the top of the wheel, I have at least 430 seconds of tread on the tire. My tire's in good shape. There's no cuts, bulges, abrasions on the sidewalls. Looks like it's in good shape. My valve stem is centered and capped. The rim has no illegal welds. That's in good shape, not a lot of rust. My lug nuts are all secure and in place. I don't see any rust rings around the rim indicating that it would be loose. There's nothing leaking from my hub, my drum. There's no bluing on my drum to indicate that it was hot. I don't smell any burning from the brakes. I'm going to put my head under here and look in here. The shock is secured to the frame and to the axle. My air canister, brake chamber is not leaking. It's not rusted. I don't hear any air leaking from any of the lines. My slack adjuster is at a right angle and does not have any play to it. My springs, they all seem to be in place. And what I can see, my castle nuts and my cotter keys are in place where they should be. My mud flap's secure. Drop it out there. Now I'm going to walk to the front of the box. To start over again, I start at the top. My clip lights are clearance lights. They're all lit. My destination sign lit that I said before. My jersey lights are flashing, the red ones. My yellow jersey lights, the lenses are all good, free of cracks, and so are the red ones. My inspection's current and up to date. My windshield wipers are in good shape and they're holding tight to the window. There's nothing obstructing my radiator. My bumper's secure. My headlights and my four-way flashers are on. My license plate's secure. There's no puddles underneath the bus indicating leaks, no oil leaks, no antifreeze leaks. Again, I'm going to go back to the start. My clip light or clearance light is up there and it's not broken and it's illuminated. My hood latch is latched. This tire has at least 430 seconds of tread. This rim's in good shape, no illegal welds. Again, the lug nuts are secure. There's no ring, no rust dripping out of them. There's nothing leaking from the hub. My valve stem center, no abrasions on the tire. I can see my brake chamber back here and my airline, and I don't see anything leaking. It's not very rusty. And I can see that the castle nuts and the cotter pins are on the dragnet and the steering bar. Okay, my steps up. My mirror has no cracks, breaks, no debris. This window's open, it has no cracks, debris, and they all look in good shape. Like I said, on the inside, my windows are all free of cracks and debris for the most part. They definitely have no cracks in it. I'm going to go into this panel, check to see if there's any fuses missing. Everything looks to be in order. I don't see any corrosion. I don't smell any burning or anything, no electrical. I have extra fuses in a bag in a bus. I can show those to you if you want. But they're inside the bus in case we have a problem and I need a fuse. My red lights are flashing in the front. My stop sign's out. Up it up. My battery tray. All my batteries are in where they're supposed to be, secure and free of corrosion. I'm not going to slide those out. If you want, when you go to the thing, you can bring a pair of gloves, just in case they want you to slide it out. You get shit all over your hands. So, my under-carriage reflectors in its spot. Okay, the diaphragm for the stop sign, there's no cracks. The wires all seem to be in good shape. I don't see any corrosion. Lights are flashing, and the stop sign's secured to the side of the bus. We'll start back at the top. The emergency window is clearly marked. That's the emergency window. The emergency exits all have their reflective tape around the exits like it should. It's not missing any. My four-way flasher's on. And again, these windows are in good shape. None of them are cracked or broken. My clip light there is lit. My emergency door opens from the outside, holds, the alarm goes off. My reflective tape is there, indicating the front of the bus in front of the wheel. Now I'm going to go to the back of the tires, starting at the top again. Have at least 2 seconds on the tire tread. There's no damage, abrasions, cuts, tears to the sidewall. The rims have no illegal welds on them. They appear to be in good shape. There's nothing leaking from the axle. Both valve stems are centered and capped. The lug nuts are all secure. There's no rust rings or any rust dripping from them or metal shiny showing, indicating that they're loose. I can see my drive shaft, and it's in its hangers, and it's sitting the way it should. And the safety straps are all around it. The spring that I can see in the front, that's secured to the frame, the shackle and the spring. My airbag, my billow in the back is free of cracks, and the suspension of the bus is sitting level, so I know that the air's staying up, and my mud flap's secure. I have nothing between the duals. I can't see the slack adjuster in the back, but there's a slack adjuster in the back. There's a brake chamber in the back. There's an S-cam that operates. The push rod from the slack adjuster pushes the S-cam, which pushes the brakes, which make the brakes push against the drum. I don't smell any burning or anything, so I believe these are all good. This emergency window is clearly marked. The tape's around it. That's all good. This rear stop sign, lights are flashing red the way they should be. It's sitting out like it should be. This billow, diaphragm, whatever you want to call it, there's no cracks in it. It's not leaking. It's air operated. The wires, everything seems like it's in place. The wires aren't corroded, and that's secure. We got my red reflector in the back of the bus indicating behind the wheel. My clip light back here is lit. So now I'm going to go to the back of the bus. The back of the bus, the clip lights are lit. I saw the destination sign from the inside. I can see it from the outside that it's lit. I can see the bulbs are lit. My jersey lights and my red lights. My red lights are flashing. All the lenses and covers are free of cracks and debris. My rear windows are free of cracks and debris. The reflective tape's all on the bus like as it should be. I'm going to go ahead, open up this door. The alarm sounds. It holds. I'm going to go ahead and close this door. That all works good. My license plate light is lit. My license plate's secure. I don't see anything obstructing my exhaust. There's nothing in it. It doesn't seem broken. It's secure as it should be. I don't see underneath the bus. I don't see anything hanging, dragging, leaking. There's nothing leaking under the bus, dragging. Okay, so this other side's going to be basically the other side we did, except it doesn't have the red lights. We got the clearance lights are lit all the way down. The windows are all free of being broken, cracked, or debris. The two emergency exits are clearly marked. The yellow tape is around. Reflectors on. We're going to move up here. Mud flap secure. Same thing with the tire, at least 2 seconds of the tread. Nothing leaking from the axles. No illegal welds. What I can see of the drums, they're not blued. This also has a slack adjuster S-cam brake shoes, other hardware in there. Both valve stems are centered in cab. Same thing over here, what I can see of the drive shaft spring shackle, and the billow is blown up. So we're going to go over here. Caution, or my hazard, four-way hazard is flashing. This is also a turn signal. My reflector's on. My gas cap, my fuel cap, it's not a gas cap, it's a fuel cap, is on. It's tight. I don't smell any fuel. I don't see any fuel under the bus. I don't think it's leaking because I don't see any fuel under the bus, and I don't smell any fuel. All right. So now I'm going to go back inside. I turn the wheel to the left. I'm going to stick my head on this side real quick and make sure there's no air leaks. The wires I can see, there's no corrosion. I don't smell any burning. The brake chamber and the air lines aren't leaking. Slack adjuster is at a right angle. There's no play in it. The brake chamber is not all rusted. It's not leaking. My pitman arm, my steering box is not leaking fluid. I can see that the castle nuts and the cotter pins are on, and my shock is secure. So. Get back on the bus. I'm going to straighten my wheels back out. I've got to close the door. I'm going to roll my key all the way to the left. I'm going to turn off my headlights. And I'm going to disarm the child finder because I'm going to go underneath the hood and check underneath the hood. So. Now once you start here, you won't be able to, we don't go under the hood. You're not allowed under the hood. So I had to turn that off. I have to turn my key back on to open the door. Well, actually I don't have to. I can do this, I can flip this switch, and we can push the door open. So unlatch the hood. Unlatch the hood. Let's go ahead, pull the hood up. Start on this side. Same thing as always. If you start at the bottom, it's a little easier. My air filter, air box, my air filter is good because it's still in the green, and it would be in the red if it was to change it. All my hose clamps, nothing weeping from my coolant lines. My alternator, I don't smell anything burning. I don't see a lot of corrosion. The wires seem to be all good. The belt has less than 3/4 of an inch of play in it. The wires that I can see up here, that are up here, there's no burning. I don't smell any burning. I don't smell anything that's out of the normal. My fan, it's there, it's secure. My shock, again, is mounted to the frame. I can see it. The holds for the hood are there, and now I can see a little better underneath here. None of these wires, my washer fluid's full. So there's really not much on this side that you can see or talk about. So we're going to go over on this side. And these wires, these bulkheads, I don't see any like green corrosion dripping from them. Everything seems to be secure. There's no green or wires. This is my oil dipstick, my oil fill. I could check the oil for you. I'm not gonna. Transmission dipstick. My antifreeze is up to max where it should be. My belt on this side, I don't see any cracks. has less than 3/4 of an inch of play. The steering shaft seems all lubed. There's not a lot of rust on it. It's not bent, broken, or cracked. My steering box, there's nothing leaking from the steering box. My pitman arm, there's nothing leaking around the pitman arm. And the cotter pins on the steering bar and all the drag links, they all have their cotter pins on. And it looks like it's greased well. My power steering, the fluid's full. Okay, I can't see it, but it's full. You know what I mean? You tell them. It appears to be full. Okay, and everything else here I can see looks good. And I don't hear anything leaking from the compressor or anything. These are my oil filters under here that the mechanics take care of. But like I said, I don't see any wires or anything. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Most of that shit's pretty simple. So that concludes underneath the hood. I've done most of my pre-trip. Brake check. You might want to grab your glasses so they don't go flying, Chris. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to roll my key. Get myself back in order here. Getting like I'm getting ready to drive. Putting my seatbelt on. Checking my mirrors. If I have to adjust my mirrors at all. Okay, adjusted my mirrors. I'm going to wait till the engine light goes off. Check engine light went off. Turn my headlights back on. My destination sign's all on. I'm all aired up. So before we go, I still got to do my 50-foot brake check. It's 50 foot, 5 miles an hour. So you want to get the bus going about 5 miles an hour for 50 foot. And I'm gonna stab the brakes to make sure, holding the wheel loosely so it doesn't, so I can see if it pulls. The bus didn't pull, it stayed straight, so the brakes seem to be okay. I'm gonna pull my spring brake, make sure that holds. My spring brake holds. I'm ready to go. Ready to go drive. So that completes the pre-trip. So we're gonna go over here. We're going to do a railroad crossing at this. So within 15 to 50 feet, we stop. So that's about 25 feet. Going to open up, put it in neutral. Open up the doors. I'm looking. I'm listening to make sure there's no trains coming. I don't see any trains coming. I'm going to close the door. I'm going to proceed on, not stopping or slowing down until after I'm clear of the tracks. And once I get up to highway speed or whatever the speed limit is, I'm going to shut my four-ways off. Now I got a pickup for a kid right here. So I'm going to put my ambers on within 300 feet. And I'm going to stop. Okay, and actually it's a drop off. So I'm going to drop little Johnny off. So I got my jersey lights on. I put it in neutral and park. I open up the door, making sure my red lights come on. Looking behind me, looking near and far, both sides, making sure no cars are going around me. Okay, little Johnny, go to the bottom step. I want you to look both ways. Right, left again. Look before you leap. Then I want you to go out and I want you to walk about 15 steps, 10 to 15 steps in front of me. Where I see you, you see me. I'm going to hold you. I'm going to look again to make sure that nobody's coming. When it's all clear, I'm going to give you the crossing sign. When you get the crossing sign, I want you to walk to this side of the bus. I'm going to stop you again. I'm going to look again. When it's safe to cross you, I'm going to give you the crossing sign to go across. If I blow the horn, get back in front of the bus or to where it's safe. Okay? And that's what you do to the cross kids. coming up here, coming to crossroads. I'm looking, I'm stopping, I gotta rock, I gotta look. Checking my mirrors, checking everything, checking my blind spots, turn my directional on. Going up to this road, we're going to take a right, so I got my right directional on. Stop, I'm rocking in my seat, checking, making sure that nothing's in my blind spots in my mirror, because there's an awful blind spot on this one side mirror. I don't see anything. I'm rocking and rolling in my seat. Don't see anything, so I'm proceeding on when it's safe. Now I'm going up to this light up here. It's a stale green light. It's been green for a while. So when I get up to speed, then I'm going to get up to my 30 miles an hour, which is the speed limit. I see the sign up here. There's a caution sign for traffic signal. There's a caution sign for a 25-mile-an-hour curve. The light's still green. It's a stale green light, so I'm going to cover my brakes when I get up closer to it to make sure that it doesn't turn while I'm getting up to the intersection. So I'm still looking both ways, even though I have the green light, and I'm proceeding on. Because you have to defense drive. I have this school bus stop ahead, and I'm showing that I have intersections ahead that cars could be coming in, potential hazards, these side streets. Now we go up to a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, so I'm going to up my speed just a little bit until we get up to the 35 miles an hour. I'm indicating turn with those signs. We have a bus pulling out, so I'm coming up to another 35-mile-an-hour sign. I have a green light that just turned. So I'm looking near and far, making sure there's no hazards, looking behind me, making sure there's nothing coming up, no emergency vehicles coming up on me. So I'm going to take a right here. I put on my directional. And as I make my turn, come through the intersection. I have a 5-ton limit, but we're exempt because we're a school bus. I have 30-mile-an-hour speed limit now. Looking near and far, checking my mirrors every once in a while, check what's behind me, making sure I'm staying in my lane. I have trash cans up here. I have a deer crossing sign, which could be a potential hazard if a deer runs out in the road. Got a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. I have a truck entrance, which is another potential hazard. So I have to be careful of that. I'm going on down through. I'm going to continue on down Terry Road. So this is the truck entrance. I'm looking to make sure that there's no trucks pulling out on me. We have a 4-way intersection coming up. It's indicated by the sign. There are some trash cans. The wind can blow them out in the street, which is a potential hazard. So I'm looking near and far. Continuing on. This 4-way intersection. Even though I have the right of way, I'm still looking both ways to make sure nobody pulls out in front of me. More potential hazards with the trash cans. I'm coming up to a stop sign, so I'm going to slowly move up to the stop sign. It's an all-way stop sign, so it's a 4-way stop. So I'll proceed up to the stop line, and I'm going to stop at the stop line. I'm doing a complete stop. I'm still looking both ways, rocking in my seat to make sure there's nothing in my blind spots. We'll continue on. It's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. We have a potential hazard ahead. Kid on a scooter or a hoverboard. And that could be a potential hazard, like the trash cans. So as we proceed up to this all-way stop, there is a stop line, so I have to stop at or before the stop line. So I'm stopping at the stop line. Again, rocking in my seats, making sure that there's nothing coming. We I'm going when it's my turn. I have a sign up here with a pedestrian crossing, so there's a potential hazard. Somebody could be crossing. There's cars parked along the side of the road. So you don't know if somebody's going to open the door or if the kid's going to run out from behind these. So I must go a little slower than the speed limit says. Checking, looking near and far. We have a stop sign up here. We have potential hazards with the debris along the road, and the trash cans could blow out in the road. So I'm coming up to this stop sign. It has a stop line and a crosswalk. So we stop at the stop line, making sure it's an all-way stop. So we're making sure it's our turn to go when we go. I'm still scanning the intersection to make sure that somebody doesn't come flying through it and hit us. And we're going to proceed up to this light up here, this traffic signal, which is red. As I approach this traffic signal, it's red. I'm going to start covering my brakes, coasting a little bit. It has turned green, so I'm going to cover my brakes because there's cars at the intersection and potentially could turn, and it did. So I'm going to stop and wait. I'm going to take a left turn here. So when I take a left turn, I'm going to turn into the left lane, even though I'm going to veer onto 695. So while we're sitting at the intersection, I'm still looking around, checking for potential hazards on the way that I'm going. Looking behind me, making sure there's no emergency vehicles coming up behind me that I don't see or hear. I don't see anything behind me. Looking like we got a few cars in front of us that are going to be going. And we have crosswalks that are potential hazards for people crossing the crosswalks. I don't see any pedestrians. So we have a green light, so I'm going to proceed on when I can, safely. So I'm turning into the left lane. Then I'm going to put my right signal on because I got to go into the right lane. And it's clear. I have a car coming up behind me. I have clear to go, so I'm going to go over. I'm going to merge the traffic. I'm going to merge traffic on my left as I'm going up here, so I can pick up some speed. It's like a double merge sign. And I'm going to move over to the left lane as soon as I can because I'm going to head towards Auburn. I've got a car coming up behind me on the left, so I'm going to wait. It's clear to go. Checking again. So I go to the left. So I'm going to head towards Route 5. I'm staying in this right lane for now. Checking my mirrors, making sure I can move over. Once it's safe to move over, I moved over. We're going to head towards Auburn. I'm going to stay in the right lane. 65 miles an hour, we can do 65. With children on, I can only do 55. This bridge we're going over, it's safe to cross because it's not marked, and it'll hold 80,000 pounds, and we're only 30,000 pounds. So this bridge is safe to go under because it's not marked. It should be at least 14 foot tall, and we're only 11 foot tall. Going over another bridge, it should hold 80,000 pounds because it's not marked otherwise. So I got another merge. We're merging on the traffic. So I'm checking my mirrors. When it's safe to go over, I'm going to go over because I'm going to get off at Hinsdale Road. So I'm going to take one lane at a time, checking, making sure that I can get over. I have a car coming up alongside me that I can see. wait till